files. So like, if you don't have a really busy account, 1 gigabyte is going to be 3 or 4 months, potentially. From month 1 to 3 months, 1 gigabyte. So if you want to query every hour for 24 hours, for 30 days, 1 gigabyte of logs, it's going to cost you only, I have it on here, sorry, $3.56 precisely. So now, if you want to have an elastic search spin up on AWS, just sitting there, not doing any analysis, just have the infrastructure ready to put your CloudTrail logs for when you're going to need it, it's going to cost you $150 per month. Just sitting there, not doing anything. Imagine if you do also analysis. So we're talking about really efficient and really cost-effective solution. It's available through the AWS console, which I'm going to show you the demo, but it's really easily programmable and done through like the AWS Athena API or the CLI. And essentially the different framework that I suggest that we built at Verizon Media is a centralized log analysis solution, as I described, and it's a cooperatively model that huge teams can work together because you have, as we're going to see in the demo, one single page which you can have different working groups, and you can have different databases, different tables, and a really efficient and a really good way of teaching younger and more junior analysts SQL and queries, because essentially you can have your more senior, more data analysis gurus go in and create queries for investigations. So you can have like the different scenarios beforehand, so you are prepared for an incident, and then as junior analysts can just go to the Save Queries tab, which I'm going to show you afterwards, select the query that he wants to run, and the only thing that he needs to do is specify the database, which is going to be the specific incident database, let's say, or specific incident table.
So that's great for the tier ones to set use cases so they can front end a lot of the back end.
Exactly, that's perfect, because they don't need to know SQL, they don't need to know anything. You just tell them, and I'll show you in the demo, you can have a description that says,
playbook.
Yeah, a playbook, but not even a playbook. You don't even need a playbook, because within Athena, it's saved query that you have. You can name it and have a description and say, this query is for identifying suspicious activity of a specific role. And the only thing that you need to do, I'll show you, you just need to go click the query, it opens up on the query tab, and then you just need to change the actual username or the IP and just query about that. You see that in there. So we here have some sample queries. The first one over here at the top is looking for any unauthorized operations I spoke before, or any error code that is access denied, or someone trying to access something. And this could be also like in a small time frame, as you said before. The second one, we're looking over here for a specific access key, and this is actually, the second one is really important because I want to say about 70 or 80% of the publicly known AWS breaches has been because of an AWS key being exposed, right? So like we found out, someone reports back to us that, oh, we saw that AWS key exposed on a GitHub repo. So what you need to do afterwards as an incident response team, you go on AWS Athena, you create the table with your CloudTrail logs for that particular account, and I'm going to show you that, and then you just query that key. You just say, what actions did that key make? Did someone, and then you're going to have a detailed table with columns and rows that is going to tell you from what IP, when, what did they do, and everything. Then the third one and last one over here is to catch any unauthorized security group changes. So like if someone opens up one of security group and opens up a port so that they can access it or something like that, you can catch that as well. Then we continue, and I didn't mention this, but I'm going to mention it in another slide, that this is not only good for CloudTrail logs. Like I told you in the beginning, this just needs a structured format. What does that mean? That we're going to have any log that you have. Is it Apache access logs? Anything. I'm going to talk about it later, but I have some queries over here. So for example, the second one looks for a path traversal attack, that someone would look for a password file within your different servers. And this is like, you query your Apache access logs, right? And the last one is to find out actions from a specific IP that has like a 200 response code that has like something succeeded. And as I promised over here, even more logs, right? Anything that is in a structured way, or you can make it in a structured way, you're gonna have it in an S3 bucket and then query it with Athena. And there are actually really eloquent ways to do that in AWS, like Kinesis firewalls. You can set up, well, when you set up your web service on AWS, you can essentially automate all the logs from your web access logs, go into an S3 bucket, and then feed them to Athena to analyze them. All right. Without further ado, let's go into a demo. Okay, so this is the main AWS console, and the way that we access Athena. So this is through the console. We just search over here in the bar Athena, or if we have it in history, it's over there. And this is Athena. Over here to the right, you have the query tab, where you're going to write your own queries or use our saved queries, that we're going to show you. And you can have, I think, up to 15 tabs with different queries. Over here to the left is going to be our databases on the top. I just have two here because this is a test personal account. It's not our corporate account. If I open my corporate account, you're going to see tens of them. And then below, you're going to have the tables for each database that you have. So what I actually recommend is having a single database for a single format of logs. What I recommend. And so like you have a CloudTrail database, you have an Apache Access Log database, you have a ELB Access Log database, and then even you can do collaborations. You can combine these different logs with joins and stuff like that and play a lot. And then if you need to do another tip that I didn't know actually, and I found out last month, you can have set up working groups. Let's say that you work on an insider case, like right, that HR is involved, and you cannot involve the whole team. Like it's only one or two analysts that need to know about this incident, or it's something even bigger. You can create a working group within Athena service and specify which actual users or roles can access this. So even if I go here, I won't see the working group if I don't have the IAM permissions. So this is really good. And let's continue. So then the save queries tab that I promised before is what all your senior analysts are going to go here and do. They're going to create the queries, they're going to have a description, and then the junior analyst either just plainly go in here or with nice playbook, as you said, they can go in here, select the query that I want to run, just change bits and bytes here and there, which is, I'm going to show you what they need to change, and just run the queries and do the investigation.
Can you separate queries based on the user's account? So that only like tier 1 would have tier 1 queries?
I think yes. The working groups work for, the working groups. The working groups work for that as well. So how we do this? Let me see if I do this now in the demo, or if I go next. I will select save query. Let's see. Is it playing? Yes. So the way that you do it is actually click on one of these queries, but I'm not doing it yet. Then we have the history tab. So the history tab is another really cool feature about AWS Athena, and it's actually something that makes it a really good different framework. Over here, you have all the queries that you ran for the past 90 days. And again, you can have it with working groups that they can see it and everything. And you can have management oversight, let's say, that they want to see, you are accountable for the analysis that you do, because anyone can go within that working group, can go in this tab and see which queries were run. And the really cool thing is actually that by just selecting one of these queries, you get all the results. Then it doesn't run again to charge you more. It already has the results saved in an S3 bucket, in a new S3 bucket, and it's just going to get the results back. It's not going to cost you anything to just see all the results. And as you see over here in the encryption type, the third column, I have everything encrypted. Be careful. I just did, when I first was working with this, I did this rookie mistake, and I had everything unencrypted. So we failed at security then. I failed at security, but I figured that out after a week. Because we have all the CloudTrail logs are encrypted, but then Athena was querying them and the results were still unencrypted in the bucket. So what you need to do actually is to go to the settings over here in the top bar, and when you first go in here, it's going to be like this. It's going to be the encrypted query results is going to be unchecked by default. They're not encrypted by default. So you have to click this and then select one of your KMS keys, your default or whatever key you want to use to encrypt those logs. So they're going to be encrypted after the query. All right. Do I click now? Yes. So as you see, what I did here, I just clicked on the query, on this one of the saved queries, and it popped up right on the query. Sorry.
No.
Okay. Good break for water.
We'll come back and just start it.
I would just need some music for commercial.
Right, we should put some, there we go.
So are you finding that the way you're working right now with your groups and the collaboration within that tool, it's all working pretty good for you?
Yes, it's working pretty good for us. And it's not only cost effective, it's really quick also to do analysis. I would say it would be on an efficient scale, it would be the same using like Elasticstack or Splunk, but then it costs 100 times less. Yeah, I told you, you can if you run a query, I said before an example, like a 1 gigabyte per hour for 24 hours for 30 days, it's going to cost you only $3.56. And if you have an Elasticsearch stack sitting on AWS, it's going to cost you $150. Now, if you have, so this is a really, so this is a cost-efficient and fast and collaborative way of doing things. You can do it the Splunk way, but then you're going to spend a lot more money. Mm-hmm. So it depends how you want to go for it.
You think Splunk is feeling that pressure right now from a lot of people that are feeling?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Have they come up with any sort of solution of their own to sort of figure out how they're going to address,
So I think the solution is their product essentially. So because you can just feed all these logs to Splunk and you can query them and have visualization, everything that you want from there. But again, you need someone to maintain Splunk, you need licenses. So for us, 1,000 accounts that we have and accounts generating tons and tons and tons of data in CloudTrail, it would cost to just have this data in Splunk, I don't know, more than $1 million a year. Yeah, it's like really costly. Splunk is costly. Splunk is expensive.
Yeah.
We have Splunk, but we don't put this data there because we selectively choose what data to put in Splunk and what data to use other sources. Yeah. Okay, so let's continue. So these essentially what I did before was go to the saved queries and select the create table query for CloudTrail logs, which is already given to you in AWS. The only thing that you need to do is go down here, and I'm stopping because I edit the video and it goes really quick. As you see, I have it saved with like an account and region and year and month. You just need to change the account number from the different accounts that you have on S3 bucket, the region, the year, and the month, or even you can search for the whole year or specify a single day. So it knows to go to your S3 bucket and query only that data. I'm not doing it for this demo because I did it on my personal account. I'm not doing the most efficient way. I'm going to talk about that later. The most efficient way is to have all this data partitioned, but I'm not doing it here because I just did it on a personal account. Sorry, you guys. So everything happens really quick. So I changed the location. I pointed to my CloudTrail logs over here. I hit run query, and over here to the left, the table was created. Now I recommend, because sometimes the schema is a little bit wrong or something is not exactly as it should be, so you may fail creating the table. So I just recommend going to these 3 dots over here and just selecting to select the top, like the 10 results, so you can see that your table is created. So over here we did create the table, and essentially over here actually to the left you see below the table you see all the columns that you have. Are right over there, all the columns that you have just created on this table. And essentially what I did for this, to show you guys, is that, let's see, yes. I actually used a really, really cool tool online the thing that you're really gonna like and find useful. I have a link at the end. It's called Cloud Goat. Yeah. Cloud Goat. It's from Rhino Security thing. Actually, I have a link at the end. Let me see if I have it. Let me see.
Yeah, they're in Virginia, I think.
Yeah, they do a lot of cool things. Let's see. This. So. So this is the GitHub repo. And what I did for this, so I can showcase a scenario, is that what they do here is that they automatically create a vulnerable AWS environment. So you can run it on one of your test accounts or your personal account. So there are scripts over here and scenarios detailed step by step. So you don't need to be any AWS guru or anything like that. You just follow each scenario. And if you go down here, you can see that you set up the environment by just using their cloud.py Python script and configuring your environment. And then they just have the different scenarios over here that tell you that it's medium, moderate, hard, whatever you want to do. And so the first part of it creates a vulnerable environment, and the second part of it over here is attacking that environment. So what they do is you create a vulnerable AWS environment, misconfigure AWS environment, so they can teach you what to not do, and then they teach you how to attack it. And essentially that's what I did here, so we can show you guys the logs that we got from it. Go over here. So essentially in this scenario, we were notified that a user named Solo had some weird activity happening with his AWS account. He saw something suspicious, and we're called in to investigate, right? So we just got the save query, and we just changed the username, just changed the database in the table over here, which is our newly created that table that we just created a second ago, and we just queried to see like what did this user do for the specific month that we found out the anomalous activity. Let's see what happens. Oh, yes. This failed because I had principal ID, but I had to change the username. And I didn't edit it out. All right, so we just have two actions happening from that user. And what do we see here? So we see, I selected all these different fields, just to be more clear. And we have a source IP address, doing some actions with request parameters to our code build. They just did what they did. They just listed the projects over here. Interesting. Okay, that user didn't have any work to do with this project. Let's just investigate that particular IP and see. Let's pivot to this IP. We go to our saved queries. We have a suspicious IP activity query already there for your analyst. We just put the IP there and run the query to see what happened from that IP. Because we just see two actions from the user. So, and whoa, we're getting all these different results, and not only user solo. What happened over here? So that IP started with user solo, listing some code build projects, and then getting access to another user declaration. So essentially what happened here, and because I did the attack, is that the user solo, so the user solo had his AWS keys exposed somewhere on the internet, and someone got access to this user solo. And then how someone can pivot from there and move laterally. From user solo, they just found out that he had access to this code build project, where this other user, Calrissian, didn't have exposed on the internet their AWS credentials, but they just had it on a code build project that was secured in their internal operations, so only internal users would access that. That's why we talk about in general about zero trust security, right? So someone was already in there, a malicious attacker, and got access to our internal GitHub, let's say, this is code build in AWS, and got access to the Calrissian user access keys. And as we're going to see, the Calrissian user had more elevated privileges. So what ended up happening is that with those credentials from Calrissian, the attacker was able to go and find an RTS database, create a snapshot as we see over here, and then at the bottom, let me see when I go to the right, we see, let me stop it. So we see actually that the attacker was able to create a snapshot of our own databases internally, and create a new master password, because as I said, the response element are when something changes in your environment. And we see over here at the bottom that there was a new master user password set for the snapshot. So what happened now over here is that we have one of our own databases getting owned by an attacker. Only he has access to it. We don't have access to it right now. And again, this is really simple example, not really fancy queries. I just did this demo really quick to show you guys how quick and easy it is to use Athena, because it's really quick and really easy. And when you have senior engineers that really know SQL and data analysis, I'm not one of them. I'm not really a SQL guru, but if you have one of them, they can play a lot with it and be really granular and have really amazing queries. All right. So how do we make it faster, right? We need to have partitions. I didn't have it on my personal account. We need to partition our data, and essentially what that means is have them stored in the beginning, or you can change them afterwards with a key name structure, so you can essentially have the partitions based on the keys, and instead of specifying a month that you want to run, use the partitioning schema to do that. Then also AWS says to compress and split the files if possible. I just suggest compress the files. It's already cheap. You don't need to split files or do stuff like that. Or if they even say bucket your data, which essentially you bucket your data is based on columns or rows that have similarities, so you can just query that specific
Like a data shard?
yeah. But I still don't recommend going into that deep. I think partitioning is enough because it's already really cheap and cost effective. And then you can always make your SQL queries more efficient, right? Optimize all your joins or order by, group by, and try to make it as faster and most cost efficient as possible. So now, okay, we just described how to do log analysis. This is going back at something that happened, something we need to investigate. But Athena can also help us do threat hunting and also automation. So the way that you can do threat hunting, you can have the pre-cooked queries that I described before on the saved queries tab, and have them running in different intervals in your S3 buckets that you have in Cloudflare logs. And that is essentially, you can add also threat intelligence. That's what threat hunting is, to get new threat intelligence in and hunt your data that you have in the past, because you didn't know about this new indicator, right? So you can get new threat intelligence, hunt for that through your logs that you, in an S3 bucket, you can store for a long time because they're not that expensive to store the amount that Cloudflare creates. And then I also have, you can automate this by using step functions, which is essentially an orchestration solution by AWS for putting together Lambda functions. But I'm not going to tell you to do that. I'm going to show you another solution right after this. And over here, I have a takeaway for you guys: how to track, without knowing that something was exposed, how to track an STS key. That the STS keys are keys that are created and given to like one of your resources, like an EC2 instance, and it's most of the time it's about 6 hours that is valid. But even those 6 hours, something can happen.
What is STS?
That's a really good question that I forgot. No, it's
Security token service.
security token service. Thank you.
Security timing?
Security token service.
Token service.
I should have known that. I knew that, but I forget it. Now that you asked me. So it's a token that is created temporarily, and essentially it's AWS keys. Yes. And if like you have an SSRF on your host, someone can attack it and get that key and use it to do other stuff. So the way that you can actually track it and find out if this happens is this: whenever a new STS key is created on EC2 instance, you have an assume role Cloudtrail artifact. And then that key, essentially, the function of the key is to be used by that resource and that resource only. Some developers may do some other weird stuff using it in other places, but so you can whitelist those cases, but most of the time it's only going to be used by that resource. So now every time that you see that key being used by that resource or any other resource, it's going to have an assumed role key. The assumed role key means that this key was used, not created. The assumed role means created, assumed role means used. And if you see that one key was created by this resource, but then used by an IP in Russia, or even another resource that should use that, then this is something suspicious. And this is something that you need to investigate. So I told you that you can use Lambda functions, you can do your own Python scripts and automate all this, and you can have actually really cool APIs that Athena has to get access to, get all the CloudTrail logs automatically when they're ready, analyze them, monitor, have indicators, and query all the time with Athena, and get results and alert. But do you want to reinvent the wheel like this guy? No, right? You just want something easy that is out there. I think so. But if you have the development power and the time and the resources to do that, you're more than welcome to create that beautiful wheel over here. But I'm going to tell you to not do that, because there are amazing tools out there that you can use, and one of them is created by the Airbnb security engineering team. It's called Stream Alert, and it's actually really well developed and maintained. Not as our own open source tool. That the next is going to be about mobile. We have better maintenance and.
Was that binary alert at first?
Yes, they have binary alert. No, binary alert is a different product.
Okay.
So they have binary alert, which is essentially for YARLs and host-based stuff, and then they have Stream Alert. So what Stream Alert does is monitor all the time. You can have different data sources. You can monitor your S3 bucket that you have CloudTrail logs, and every time that is a new CloudTrail is added, it's going to be analyzed based on some rules that they already have there for you. It's really easy. You just need to actually use the rules that they have or create your own. It's based on Python, and it's really simple. And then based on the rules that you create, you can then send alerts to other services. Would that be like your Splunk? You can send it to Splunk and create an alert for your SOC. You can send it to a Slack. You can send it to the simple message service or SMS. I don't remember what the name is. That AWS has a service that you can create an alert and it's going to send you a message or an email. Or PagerDuty, as they have over here. They have different integrations, and you can add it to your own. It's a really cool tool that you can, whatever we discussed about doing the log analysis before, you can automate here and have the rules that they already have. They have an open source community, they have a Slack channel that they help people out. It's really cool. I definitely recommend checking this out. It's going to help you a lot automating the alerting and monitoring of your AWS infrastructure. So the one thing over here that I need to know is that if you already have other AWS and you have the budget to have like AWS guard duty, you don't exactly need this. But this is for people who don't have the budget to go for AWS guard duty, because this essentially can do everything that guard duty does on the CloudTrail and API level, and even your access logs, if you send your access logs there. But yeah, guard duty does that on market for you, but it costs a ton of money. So yeah, the conclusion is that it's fast, it's cost effective, and it's to use Athena. It's really simple, and you can really onboard really easily and really quick. It's not going to take a lot of time for your analysts to just start running queries and figure this all out. It's really simple, and I definitely recommend going and checking out Stream Alert. And I thought that I had over here. Oh, there you go. Thanks, Q&A. Yeah, thanks. I have the links over here for Cloud Code and Stream Alert. Go check both of these guys out. So, and essentially, the cool thing that you can do is go set up a vulnerable AWS environment with Cloud Code, then set up Stream Alert, and it has a Terraform. It's actually based on Terraform. So you automatically deploy the whole alerting infrastructure. You just need to change the data sources and the outputs. And it has a really good doc guide, and it's going to describe all the different steps. And then, when you set that up, go back to Cloud Code and attack this environment and see all your alerts coming up. So this is a really good way to actually also train your analysts. And thank you.